Okay, I think everything's working now. Okay, I see bars on my iPhone. I think I'm okay. Hello. Hi, Madibs. Yeah, I know. Sometimes glitches happen. Hi, Madibs. Hi, Luke. For thank you for the patience. Sorry, it took a second uh, get everything rebooted. So that's sometimes I don't know what it's very rare when it happens. But like my Mac system, I like the Mac system I have because continuity is like it works really smoothly. So if you have like an updated MacBook Plus, um, like an updated so you need an iPhone 12, and then I think you need at least something to be able to run the last two OSs ago. But they have a whole system now called continuity, which allows you to use your phone as a webcam for anything from like Zoom to OBS. So it's great because don't really have to spend that much on extra hardware. I already use this stuff for work anyways. Um, and so yeah, so I figured since I already have this tech and it works really smoothly. And then the other thing when I used to do um, before I started using, I simplified my system. So there was a point in time where I was using like an actual DSLR camera with a capture card for like my close up on my countertop, and then I had my iPhone as my face cam. And Continuity has this function called center stage, which then it takes a wide of your area and then it digitally punches in and then it follows and pans with you, which is a pretty neat function. But I can't do it now because I'm using my laptop's webcam as my um, face cam, and then my iPhone's now my close up. And I do this now because these are my two newest cameras, I guess you could say, or like it's just a lot more crisp and clean. And so that's why I have this setup. Also, it's way simpler. Now it's just a laptop and my iPhone. I don't have a whole tripod and a camera and a lens. And then also because that camera, in order, since it's a DSLR, I needed a lot more depth of field. So then I had like a whole string of lights here on the left here to like really pump up my exposure so that I could like really stop down and then get the right exposure and stuff like that. So it was like kind of a pain in the ass. And so I stopped doing that. And now I just kind of use ambient daylight and my iPhone when I can. So it's a lot more simpler of a setup. It's less of a headache. And so I'll do that. And then I'll probably, if I can find like an iPhone 12 for cheap, or like, I guess if I update this new phone, which will be several years. I'm not one of those people that have to have the new iPhone. And also, this is like my first iPhone, I should mention. I used to be Android for a really long time. But I'll probably hang on to my old one or this one, and then I'll use like a two iPhone system, which will be kind of fun to use. But yeah. Anyways, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, sorry. I'm just. Thank you, Lukey, by the way, for stopping by and for. I'm assuming I must have run into you. Um, on someone's stream. Who knows? It might be. It might have been like. It might have been. I feel like I've been on quite a few. I've been watching Twitch a lot recently these past couple days, so and a lot of people who have given me shout outs. I do appreciate the shout outs I do get from various other cooking streamers and a lot of music streamers that I am pretty active in. So, but yeah, thanks. Hey Tolo, what's up? How are you doing? Hope you're all doing well. Hi Madibs. Yeah, I know I'm streaming late, so I know you've got to be up pretty late. It's a late afternoon into evening stream today. Hi Quicksilver. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. So today we're going to be making we'll be making chocolate chip cookies, but something that's a little different. So King Arthur has this cookie. So if anyone's familiar with Lord Tox is a fellow baking streamer. Let me give him a quick shout out. For those who, I think I got it right. Let me make sure I got it right. Yeah, he does a lot of coding and programming streams, and he tends to do like marathon baking streams. But yeah, if you want someone who's also super chill, he plays a lot of jazz, goes on like crazy baking adventures. Like he's still working on getting the perfect eclair and things like that, and he'll do like puff pastry from scratch. So if you guys like a really chill baking streamer, Tox is your man. Um, but yeah, he's a great streamer. But anyways, it was like maybe a couple weeks ago. He just wanted chocolate chip cookies, and with another baking streamer, we were talking. He was talking with her about tangzong being used for cookies. So tangzong is a bread making method that you normally use for bread, for like making soft milk bread. So like very soft and squishy milk bread. And the reason why you use tangzong in a lot of baked goods for bread specifically is that because it absorbs a lot more water and moisture, um, it creates a softer bread, which is made famous by Taiwanese milk bread or Japanese Hokkaido milk bread. And so, and then the result of that is also you get a bread because it has a higher moisture content that resists staling faster. And so you can apparently take this principle and add it to cookies, which I'm very curious about because I feel like it doesn't make sense in my head. But Lord Tox made it, and he said it made for a pretty soft and chewy cookie, which intrigued me. And then B, he also did a staling experiment and found that he could leave it on his countertop just out in the open. Worst case scenario, where it's just like out in the open, propped up so you get air circulating on both sides. And he said that it took more than 3 days for it to stale. He basically just tried it on the third day and it was still soft. So I'm very curious now about this cookie. And the reason why it's divisive is if you look at the reviews on this recipe, so I'll bring it up. So the first link is this recipe. You'll notice that it has 3.5 stars. So people either really love this cookie or they really freaking hated this cookie. And it's interesting. He liked it. I kind of have a little trust in this because like apparently King Arthur made this recipe like their recipe of the year. So they like have a lot of confidence in this recipe. And so I'm not sure like if the people who like messed it up were like, I don't know, maybe it's that they're looking for different properties in cookies. I mean, personally, I like a chewy cookie, like a gooey chewy cookie. And I usually achieve that. So I'm making some changes to the recipe. I achieved that by using, I have toffee here that I'll be adding in. And then the other thing that I'll be changing a little bit in the recipe is I always add a little espresso powder. And I like that because it adds extra flavor and depth to the cookie. And I feel like I can add those in without too much repercussions about messing up the cookie. So anyways, those are the two things that I'm going to be doing that are a little different. That, and then because I was an idiot and wasn't paying attention to the type of sugar I needed, I bought dark brown sugar, and the recipe called for light brown, and the person in the recipe specifically mentioned to... Sorry, I just noticed there's a dent in this lid. Just wanted to make sure that's okay. Okay, anyways, I just wanted to make sure that I don't make it too molassesy. She specifically said to use light sugar, so I'm going to do half and half to cut it to make light brown sugar. So, yeah, that's basically it. That's the gist. So without further ado, we're going to start on this cookie. So what I'm going to do, since this cookie normally takes a 24-hour rest, I'm going to do like maybe 4 cookies in the oven here today, just to try them on stream. And then the rest I'm going to let rest and then bake them off Thursday morning. And so the reason why I'm making these cookies, and I'm going to be putting them to the staling test, is, well, maybe not Thursday morning. I'm going to probably cook them Wednesday night. I'm going on a camping trip on Thursday, and so I'm bringing these cookies to share, and it's a 5-day camping trip. So what better setting to test their staling capabilities than outdoors camping? Because obviously outdoors camping is not ideal storage, food storage, settings. So I figured that that'd be a perfect test to stress test these cookies. So hopefully maybe I'll store one away at the very end of the camping trip because I have a feeling they might get consumed within like a day. Who knows? It depends on how much people want cookies. But we'll see how they turn out. But anyways, I figured this camping trip will be a good way to figure out if these cookies are good for lasting. And so the other reason why I want to try these cookies is because since I like to send out care packages, these cookies, if they survive for a couple days without staling, would be the ideal cookie to send for a care package because they stay fresh longer. And so that's the main reason why I want to try this cookie recipe out is for the staying power of tangzhong. So anyways, that's my little spiel about why I'm trying these cookies and why also I'm gonna again Matt and Kim is very high energy but a little hard to focus, I think, and I think it's a little loud right now. But yeah. Anyways, that's my spiel about what I'm doing today for cookie making. Hope everyone's doing well. Welcome. Let's see here. So, and then the other thing I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to start with that before I start the cookies. Right? Or no, I should make the cookie batter, let it rest during the rest. So the other thing, the reason why my stream title says antepache is because I think a stream a couple weeks ago, I had done a batch, or like a month ago, I had done a batch of tepache. But then I never showed the decanting of it because I just didn't stream that week when I decanted it. And so I'm also making some tepache to share on this camping trip. And so I figured, so I've had these been brewing. So I've shown like kind of the process of making these beforehand, but I'm going to decant this one. This one I think still needs one more day, so I'm not going to do that on stream tomorrow because I've got a lot to do tomorrow, so I don't think I'll be streaming tomorrow. But this one is made purely, like, this is the most traditional that you can get, minus the cloves and the cinnamon. The most traditional is just sugar piloncillo, which is this Mexican cane sugar. It's just cane sugar that's been dried. It looks like this. I've got 2 cones of this and 2 pineapples worth, and then just water. And then I added a cinnamon stick and some cloves in here for flavor. So that's this one. This one's still, I think it needs another day of fermentation to kind of get it to where I like it, or at least half a day of fermentation. And then this one I had done the day before, and I had waited a little too long on the pineapple. So it was on the verge of going bad. And so I have like a bit of doubt on its fermentation power. And after like one day of rest of, like, I noticed that it wasn't bubbling at all and it seemed very stagnant. And so I cheated and added baker's yeast into it. And I don't know if that was a good idea or a bad idea. I think maybe it prevented it from molding because I introduced a culture that is very robust. But then because baker's yeast inherently is a little bit uniform in flavor profile, it ended up making this a lot boozier / just less interesting in flavor. And so I'm not sure. Like I debated about throwing it away. Also, there's a lot more air because this is only one pineapple and less liquids, and so obviously it's soured and has fermented a little differently than you normally would. So I figured I'd do a trick where I take this and then today's definitely the day I need to decant it and put it into a bottle. And I figured I just kind of turn it into an actual beer since it is boozier. So I'm going to cut it with a Mexican cerveza. So my choice here is Modelo, just because this is my preferred. One of my preferred. Actually, my preferred beer is for micheladas is actually Golden Road Street Cart, but I think Modelo makes a really good michelada also, and it was available. I couldn't find Street Cart, within walking distance of basically my corner liquor store. So I figured I'd do Modelo Negra. And I think it'll work well with this pineapple beer. So that's what I'm. So there's this one fly that managed to sneak into this house, and it has been driving me nuts. And I was gonna try to kill it. Anyways, if it lands, I've got an electric fly spotter and I've got my bug assault rifle over there ready to kill it. Hopefully, I can get this thing. It's been annoying the shit out of me all day. Sorry, pardon my French. So, anyways, we're gonna decant this. I'm gonna do that though because even though I'm gonna do some immediate bakes, I do want to rest the dough just a little bit, just to like. There's a point where you have to, since the dough is actually a lot more liquidy. There's a point where you actually have to let it rest to be able to just even mix it and form it into cookie balls. So, yeah, that's a part of the recipe. Anyway, so we're gonna start with we're gonna start with the Oh yeah. Those jars aren't sealed. So those are basically kimchi jars. So people ferment them in all times. But one thing I should point out is, watch. I'll prove it to you that they're not sealed. Okay, a few more spins. But basically, they're not tightly sealed at all. I just kind of throw them on and give it like one turn so it doesn't come off. But they're actually not on that tight because, obviously I don't want them to explode. But when I do decant them, I think we'll see how many of these I have. But there are some bottling jars. I guess the ones that I have for this job are I've used these ones over and over and over again. These are jars from various Slavic beers that I've bought over time that are pretty good. Anyways, I know they can definitely handle the pressure, so that's why I use them over and over and over again. And then I do have this one, which I bought from, I don't know, I'm going to use these up and then we'll kind of go from there. But anyways, there has been a point in time where I've made a batch of tepache, put it in here, and then I think I let it sit on the countertop for a little too long, and so I went to open it, and it went straight up, hit the ceiling, and came down, and I lost like half the tepache. It was pretty comical when I did it. So after that, my response is then with the other bottle is I actually put it in the freezer. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea, but it actually worked. I froze it, and then I like slowly let the gas out, and then it didn't explode. And then I let it kind of melt, and then it somehow worked. It tasted good. Oh yeah, I have demijohns with an airlock for fermenting. Yeah, I mean these are so the tepache that I'm making here. Like this, like so tepache is like it takes like 3 days. That's it. So it's not like crazy. Yeah. So that's why I don't have like super sophisticated. Like this is literally something you're supposed to make in a glass pitcher, and then you just put a cheesecloth over it, and then you just let it sit for 2 days, and then you like put it then in a bottle. Like it's that kind of recipe. Um, and so I've been just using kimchi jars for that exact reason. I figured it's yeah, it's a light mild pineapple wine. Essentially, that's all it is. Um, and also, like, if you want a good tepache, you literally have to be attentive. Like, you have to be stirring it like at least twice a day just to make sure it's going okay. And you want to stir it so that the pineapple doesn't mold on the top, right? Because it's very prone to molding. So it's always important to keep the stirring, and then they kind of siphon off like the foamies up top. And then I usually use that opportunity to taste it to make sure that it's at the level that I want. So yeah, anyways, that's why I'm like not too concerned about it exploding. I mean, I guess it could theoretically explode in these bottles, but I'm gonna only let it bottle ferment for like a day at most. 12 hours is probably more realistic, and then I'll toss it in the freezer. Is that fly? I don't know why I instinctively tried to grab that fly. Fly is annoying me. Okay, sorry. Anyways, for starters, though, we're going to start with cookies. And then we'll kind of go from there. Okay. So, all right. So, Tangzong cookies. 4 stars now. Okay. So, in a large bowl, combine the brown sugar and salt set aside. Okay. So, where did I put my scale? So, we have oh no. Fuck. Okay. No. Guess I'll have to use this one. Okay, this one's fine. Okay, so I need to get batteries. I need batteries. Okay. Okay. Tear that. All right, so I need how much sugar? That's chocolate. Sugar, 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 sugar. Oh, 246 grams of light brown sugar. That divided by 2, or 226, or 426. 426 divided by 2 is 213. So I need 213 grams of regular granulated sugar. I got a little chunky. Okay, 213. And then I need 213 of light brown sugar, which is not light brown sugar. actually dark brown sugar because I'm making white brown sugar by doing this. No! Really? Okay. Alright, I need to go find some AAA batteries. This is annoying. This is mildly annoying. Why would your scale poop out on me in the middle of a measure? This is mildly annoying. Okay. Okay. I will be back. Also, there's a posh term for finishing in the bottle. Bottle condition. I have some beers that are bottle conditioned, but the beer is 12%. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Okay, I'm going to be back real quick. I'm going to go find some AAA batteries. Hopefully I've got enough. We'll see. Maybe I have to do this by volume measurements, which isn't ideal. But stand by.